It was a quiet Sunday evening, the kind that feels heavy with the weight of the week gone by, when silence forces reflection and illusions no longer hold. It was then, with just a single sentence, that the life I had carefully built with the man I once believed was my forever came crashing down. I never meant to hurt him. I didn't even realize he was within earshot. But those careless words, spoken without thought, shattered everything we had created over the years. My best friend, Sarah, had stopped by for a casual glass of wine. We were curled up in the living room, its warm glow embracing us, the hum of the evening settling around our conversation. I believed Nathan, my husband, was upstairs, likely rummaging through things in the storage room, fixing or organizing something. At least, that's what I assumed. Sarah and I were deep into conversation, though in truth, it was mostly me venting. The wine had loosened my tongue, and the emotional strain of the past months, those bitter arguments, long silences, and a fatigue that settled deep into my bones, spilled out like a flood. "I don't know, Sarah," I murmured, pressing my fingers to my temples, which pulsed with tension. "Some days, I just wish I hadn't married him." As soon as the words slipped out, a chill tightened in my chest, as though I had just spoken something cursed into existence. Sarah's eyes widened. Her voice cut sharply through the moment. "You don't mean that." But the truth wasn't so simple. Part of me did mean it, at least in the way someone might when they feel trapped in the monotony of routine, when love starts to feel more like duty, and duty slowly turns into regret. Still, another part of me loved him. Or, at least I thought I did. Unbeknownst to me, Nathan had been standing frozen on the staircase. He had heard everything. The next morning, something felt wrong in the house. The air itself was different. The coffee maker sat untouched. His keys weren't hanging in their usual place near the door. His boots, always neatly arranged, were gone. At first, I assumed he had just left early for work. But a creeping sense of unease set in. Nathan never left without a kiss goodbye. Not even when we were angry with each other. By midday, I called his phone. No answer. I sent a message.
Still nothing.
In a growing panic, I opened my laptop to email his office, but there was already one new message waiting for me. The subject line, "Farewell." "I overheard you last night," the email began. I wasn't meant to, but I did. Those words weren't said in anger. They were your truth. And that truth broke me. I gave everything to us. And all this time, you've been holding regret in your heart. Don't try to find me. The divorce papers are already in motion. I'm not angry. I just won't live as someone's regret. Nathan. I stared at the screen, unable to breathe. I read the message over and over, each word driving a fresh nail into my chest. There was no rage, no desperate plea, no demand for answers, just a quiet, final goodbye. I rushed to his office in a frantic blur, only to learn he had resigned that very morning. His desk had already been cleared out. By afternoon, his phone was disconnected. His social media accounts?
Gone.
Our mutual friends had no idea where he'd gone. Even his brother could only say that Nathan needed time and didn't want to be contacted. It was as if he had simply vanished from existence. A few days later, a thick envelope arrived, divorce papers, already signed and notarized. The process had already begun without even a word exchanged. I had become nothing more than a signature, a line on a form, a task to complete. Name, date, checkbox.
Done.
I waited for fury to rise inside me, for denial to protect me. But all I felt was crushing guilt. Memories surged, those early days of love, when Nathan looked at me as if I were his whole world. His quiet patience when I withdrew. His strength when I crumbled. And then I remembered his expression at dinner, just days before, tired, distant but still trying. He was still there. I was the one who had drifted away. I couldn't sleep for weeks. I replayed that moment with Sarah 1,000 times, trying to understand why I had said it. Was it true? Or had I just let resentment fester instead of being honest with him? Months passed. I hired a private investigator, desperate to find him. But every lead ran cold. No new address. No bank activity. It was as though Nathan had erased himself from the world. Eventually, I began to understand. Those words he overheard weren't just hurtful. They were a revelation. They confirmed something he had perhaps feared for a long time. That my heart had quietly moved on without telling him. And rather than cling to someone who regretted him, Nathan left. Not out of anger, but to protect the last piece of his dignity. Now, I often wonder where he is. Is he happy? Has he found someone who wakes up each day feeling lucky to love him? Someone who doesn't take his love for granted? Because in hindsight, I see clearly. Nathan was the best decision I ever made. But that truth came far too late. He walked away to find peace, and all he left behind was the ghost of my own thoughtless words. Words I can never take back.